So, this is going well. What do you look for in a partner? Well, I'm looking for someone who obeys me, who doesn't listen to anything else that anyone else says. Just me. I'm the king, okay? Someone who enjoys cryptocurrency. Do you like Bitcoin? Shut your mouth. Don't speak unless I tell you to speak. But also, I just want someone who's sexually just non-existent, right? Just virgin, just not sexually active in any way, just for me to just do whatever, you know. Sorry, that... Oh, I see the type of man that you are. I guess if it helps your case, I'm celibate, actually. Oh, that's kind of disgusting, actually. I don't know who you think you are. You think, sorry, is a woman telling me that she can do what she wants with her body? That's, wow, don't you feel like you're missing out on things? I'm really, really interested to hear what a woman has to say. But none of what you're saying makes sense. Listen, stop talking, okay? Quite frankly, I just hate women. Like, full stop. Yeah, I kind of figured that.
I am Alexis, and I've chosen to be celibate for 7 years now. I have received a lot of backlash, mainly from males. I cannot see one single reason why this would be of interest to anybody. Another attention seeker. She has no idea what she's missing out on. She better not let me catch her in public.
Just so you want to, like, see the message on the screen, I guess I'll move out the way if I'm covering it. Can you see that? Can you see the criminal comment?
Police! Police! Help!
You've outed yourself as quite literally being a sleditor. Like, whoever this person is that's left this comment, you are a dirty individual. You need arresting. You need locking up. And if anyone is going to play devil's advocate, maybe the show we're watching, they don't use real messages. It's all produced in a way to sort of drive engagement or something. I've seen comments like this online when someone so strongly disagrees with another person's lifestyle or whatever that they resort to essentially threatening to SA them or some kind. You're either going to harm her by beating her up or something, or you're going to SA her in an attempt to show her what she's missing out on. What are you talking about, you sack of shit? And listen, this gives me... It's a with? I can't even speak anymore. It stinks of men who just feel like they can have every woman in the world. Scratch that. It screams of men who feel like women must want anything and everything to do with this particular man. You need serious help. I'm just putting that out there.
I'm Alexis' father. In the back of my mind, I just knew you were gonna be like me. Seeking out partners. Just felt like you'd be missing out on a big part of life. By being celibate, are you afraid that keep guys away from you?
Who cares?
I am Alexis. I was fed up with dating, so I decided to become celibate.
And that is entirely her prerogative, I think is the word. Like, what she wants to do with her body, with her sexuality. Why are other men who is not her partner, right? Why do they care, right? If she wants to be celibate until, for example, she meets the right person and you know, opens up intimacy with this guy, why do you care?
Mr. Krabs, I am so confused.
And just to clarify, that doesn't mean even if she is with someone in a relationship, that guy as well is not entitled to her body. All right, let's clarify that as well, because I know some dumbasses have got the comprehension skills of a rock That's not what I'm saying. Just because you're in a marriage as well, for example, if your partner doesn't want to have sex, you take a step back, you go and do things to yourself until they're ready to actually want to have sex with you. Get that drilled into your head. Now, the father there saying, are you afraid you're missing out on something? Kind of the comment before, she doesn't know what she's missing out on. I feel like too much of dating nowadays, relationships, it's too attached to sex. If you don't have sex, the relationship means nothing, X, Y, Z. There is more to a relationship than exchanging bodily fluids and making your hoo-has touch. But apparently the world has not grasped that.
I have currently been celibate for about 7 years now.
Okay.
I decided to become celibate due to spiritual development, tired of the dating apps, and just decided to focus solely on my spiritual growth.
Good on you. And I will say, to add on to your tiredness, I'm tired of this show, this channel in general, playing such shitty music in these videos. Like, I don't care what...
Stop it. Get some help.
Like, surely it can't just be me that thinks this music in the background right now belongs in a club of some kind, and not this video, this topic, the nature of what we're discussing. It just doesn't fit. What's going on?
Started making TikTok content about 3 months ago about my celibacy journey. Since I publicly came out based on my decision to become celibate, I have received a lot of backlash, mainly from males, a lot of hate comments. The worst thing I have received is assault threat online. And this is from males twice my seniors.
Oh, it gets worse. It was already in the pits of hell. And now you've got, once again, we see many times, even on romance scam videos, you've got older individuals who feel like either they deserve or are entitled to much younger individuals. If you're just, dating, so to speak, and you're speaking to a much younger individual, I find you creepy anyway. But in this case, where you're threatening to do things because a woman doesn't want to have sex at all, why does it concern you?
Disgusting.
Facts.
Some of the comments I have received since sharing my celibacy story are, who asked? Also, who would want to be with a person who's willing to do that? The sheer stubbornness.
Hold on a second, the sheer stubbornness. What is going on? Who asked? I just need to point this out, right? You could easily say, me filming this video, who asked, right? People need to understand the world as it is now. You get all sorts of people sharing all sorts of information, right? But freedom of speech doesn't equal freedom of consequence. You make of that what you will. People are going to say whatever they're going to say, but it doesn't excuse you being a rat piece of shit. Again, infer from that what you will.
But point taken.
So she's entirely allowed to also share her lifestyle because it will make other people who perhaps share her lifestyle feel seen, if that makes sense. You know that there's someone out there who is living the same way as you. You don't feel like such an outsider anymore. So get a grip of yourself. Who would want to be with a person who's willing to do that? Someone who actually likes her for her and not just sex. That's a crazy concept, apparently.
Sheer stubbornness and determination it would take to be in a relationship with a person would be a nightmare. I cannot see one single reason why this would be of interest to anybody.
And because you can't see the reason, it doesn't mean that everyone in the world can't see the reason. Now, you could also argue, when I don't understand a romance scam victim and their actions, cool, we're on the same sort of wavelength here, right? I can't understand what's going on. I don't see the reasoning behind this. However, the difference here is, I actually want the best for the scam victims, and I want them to stop this detrimental behavior. This is not a detriment to her. by not engaging in any sexual activities. I just don't understand. Like, unless you are wanting to be with her, like, why do you care so much? You know what I mean?
Another attention seeker. She has no idea what she's missing out on.
That's
She better
crazy.
not let me catch her in public. Sometimes it does take me
Jail.
back a bit, but other times I find myself calling my friends or family just to bring me back to reality, to remind me that those people don't know me. In the beginning, since becoming celibate, it was a bit challenging due to my decision, which was pretty much different than my peers around me at the time. However, because I have a solid support system, they tend to help make the process a bit easier.
That's cool.
At this current time, I do not miss intimacy. However, that is due to my diagnosis with endometriosis. A lot of the symptoms that comes from endometriosis impacts my day-to-day life. It has impacted my dating life in the past where hurts, intimacy hurts physically. With celibacy, it is easier for me to solely focus on myself rather than become intimate with someone and introduce them to something that they're not necessarily comfortable with. I actually plan on being celibate until I find the right person. However, if I don't find the right person, the rest of my life.
Bro, I even say in the romance scam videos where the victims are so desperate to be with anyone that they're willing to harm themselves mentally and financially, and sometimes even physically, because we've seen victims who, for one reason or another, they let themselves physically go in exchange, I guess, to help this person that they are claiming to be in love with. I always say, you gotta wait for the right person. It's not natural to force be with someone, because then connections are not right. You know, sorry to use this term, but we're not vibing, right? And that's not a relationship that you want to be in if naturally you both just don't get along. So kudos to this unnamed woman, all right? Fair play.
Today, my dad is coming over to discuss my decision on becoming celibate. However, I am very nervous about this. When I revealed to my dad that I decided to become celibate, he was floored. He was stunned. The young lady I was in my 20s is the complete opposite of who I am now in my 30s.
I'm Alexis' father.
What did you think when she first told you that she was becoming celibate?
Sorry, his name is also Alexis. Okay, I'm just going to move out the way for that. His name is also Alexis. So that's interesting. Earlier on when he said, you know, you became like me. Oh, because you got the same name?
This is great banter. It really is.
At first, it threw me off because I knew how I lived my life. My biggest reservation was the outside world. I know how people are. They always have something negative to say.
So, how did you feel about
don't get
me
it.
sharing that I was celibate with you?
Well, at first it threw me for a loop because I don't know why, in the back of my mind, I just knew you were gonna be like me, seeking out partners.
Yeah. What were your initial concerns and reservations?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, first of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
What? I don't really get that. Is that a normal thing for a parent to be thinking about their child? What the hell has that... What?
What the is going on in here on this day?
I just find that strange. Like, if for example, if my mum came to me and start like, hey, are you gonna be sleeping around a lot? Because I used to sleep around a lot in the past. Like, imagine my mum said that to me. I'd be weirded out, bro. I'm like, that's strange. Let me know in the comments. Is that something people say to their kids?
Initial concerns were it just felt like you'd be missing out on a big part of life.
No?
And I had to realize you're not me and you have your own mind.
Yeah.
The concerns is I just know how people are by judging. They'll judge you on every little thing. Since becoming celibate, the guys you dated, how have they acted?
Once it hit social media, I had a few reach out to me, you know, just...
Hold on. Once it hit social media, you know, you were making the content. So it didn't just hit social media. You put it out there. However, once again, the music, tell me, does it fit what we're watching? It honestly, my ears, they're bleeding because of it.
Inspired by it. However, trying to pursue a future with me, non-existent. Since becoming celibate, I still do date. However, I'm not in a committed relationship. I share on the first date with guys that I am celibate.
Oh.
How it's just a in-person conversation, so it's
Fair.
never been through text or through social media. Normally, when I share that I am celibate on the first date, guys are floored, they cannot believe it. After revealing that I am celibate, guys do share that they no longer want to pursue anything.
Look, as much as you can live your life as well, they can live their life as well, right? You want to be celibate. I actually respect the fact that you tell them right then and there, because it's good that they know, right? Let's not string people along and stuff. But it's also good that they also just tell you right up front, like, this is not going to work for me. You don't want to be with someone who, you know, strings you along. And then once they do get to have the chance to, you know, have sex with you, they're just gone. So you'd rather they let you know from the first date rather than like months down the line when perhaps, you know, you might feel comfortable enough to share your body. So it goes both ways, dating, right? I just hope, and I've said this before in other videos, especially the videos where a individual who is of a particular weight doesn't seem to grasp the fact that people can like who they like. If it's criminal, once again, get a grip of yourself. But if someone doesn't like you, they just don't like you. You don't need to force them to like you, because then, again, that's not natural. So it goes both ways. I hope it's not her making celibacy like her personality, if that makes sense. Content is one thing, real life is another. Like, my personality isn't freaking scams, is it? But send me gold bars, everyone, please.
I have shared with my peers my decision on being celibate. A lot of them at first were stunned. The pushback
stunned,
is often
flawed.
My future relationships. Do you want to get married? Do you want to have kids? How that would impact my dating life. But again, like I share with anyone, I'm just more of a day-to-day person. So if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, I'll still be
natural.
okay.
By being celibate, are you afraid that that'll keep guys away from you?
Shut up, who cares?
Not really. I feel like it really is a superpower. It kind of weeds them out from those that
fair.
actually see potential versus those that are just looking for a quick hookup.
Literally that. And I never understood hookup culture in terms of going on a date with someone and having a one-night stand. Look, again, you're going to do what you're going to do. If that's how you want to live life, that's your prerogative, right? Obviously, you know, it kind of sounds hypocritical because sometimes when we look at, for example, plastic surgery videos, you know, the people getting plastic surgery, they're going to do what they're going to do. It's their life, after all. But I want the best for most people. If you're a sack of shit, I don't care about you. But I want the best for most people, and plastic surgery doesn't help you in any way, okay? Yes, it might make you feel better internally for a few days, weeks maybe, but then you haven't addressed the root cause of your self-esteem issues. But we're getting off topic. That's another video for another day maybe. But in her respect, I respect that she's come up front and saying it's weeding them out. And back to the hookup culture thing. Like, why are you going on dates just to have one night stands? Like, I feel like if the other person knows you're doing this and you've both been honest, why are you on a date anyway? No, just do you and find those people, essentially. But if you're someone who's just going to have a one night stand and then never call this person, why didn't you just go to a sex worker? What is your issue wasting people's times? So she's right in doing that. Just get rid of the weeds. I don't know, I'm a child, apparently, so I made a weed joke.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Pretty hard to stay celibate during these trying times?
In the beginning, it was a bit challenging, but over time and self-discipline, not anymore.
Do you feel like you're missing out on anything by being celibate?
Shut up, man.
Not at all. My 20s, I experienced a lot. So
20s?
no,
Oh,
I feel like
20s.
I'm right on time, if anything.
Okay, glad you passed the 20s there.
Thank you. Do you think that you could ever be celibate?
No, no. I'm in my 50s. Started young. I enjoy all my little moments in life. I enjoy the company of a woman too much.
How would you feel if
too
my
much
brother
info.
decided to be celibate?
Just like you, whatever y'all want, you, your brother, sister, I'm behind you 100%. Like you said, it's a personal thing.
Right.
If that's what he wants, I'm behind him.
Literally, if you are in a position where your parent is telling you you need to go out there and have sex, potentially, please seek professional support, because I find that strange.
Do you have a date or future plans on breaking your celibacy?
When I bring you a son-in-law, hopefully. But other than that, if I don't meet
Fair.
the one, then no. I just plan on carrying this out for a lifetime.
You got it. You got it.
Thank
Fair
you.
enough.
What do you think about my celibacy now?
Since you've given me the reasons,
Or just now.
I'm all for it.
Just now she's giving you the reason for it. But second of all, does she really need to give a reason for it? Like, I feel like people have lost the I don't know how to describe this, but people have lost the freaking hell.
Are you high or just incredibly stupid?
I think people have lost the understanding that it's okay for someone to say no and not give a reason. Like, I don't know if that's a crazy concept or not, but no just means no. There doesn't need to be a reason behind it. Like, someone potentially asks you, hey, I'm down for this. Do you want to do it with me? No. Then they proceed to say, well, why not? Frick yourself. How about that? There's literally no need to have a reason. Do you feel good about yourself if someone says no and you proceed to interrogate them to get them to do what you want? Do you feel good? Do you feel good about yourself? A good example, hey, send me an intimate picture of yourself. You say no. The other person's, please, why not? Blah, blah, blah. There was a recent scam video, I'll put it as a card up there, where we looked at an 18-year-old girl who sent over 100 nudes to a catfish, and the catfish sort of was like begging for it because she felt if she didn't send these images, he would be upset and leave or whatever. Do you feel good questioning someone who said no? You need help yourself. So remember, everyone, if there's anything to take from my ramblings right now, is feel no guilt in just saying no. Like, you don't need to bend over backwards to come up with an excuse. Just say no.
I'm happy that you're learning to love yourself and getting to know yourself.
True.
So I understand now the reason. You set your mind to do something, you follow through. So I'm
I love
happy.
how she did
I'm
that.
glad you're out the 20s.
Yeah.
You was running a little wild, but I'm so happy you slowed down.
What a great
So
conversation.
I'm getting ready to go out, hang out with the girls at the local bar, and hopefully I get to meet some fellas.
Okay.
I never feel nervous to tell guys that I'm celibate, just because I just rather for them to know ahead of time than later down the line.
Fair?
Being celibate definitely works for me and my lifestyle.
Okay.
Just with me becoming celibate, I think has enhanced my day-to-day life. To people that judge my decision on becoming celibate that do not know me in reality, I really feel they need a life check. To say the least, they need a life check because my decision shouldn't impact your day-to-day movement in your life.
Oh, love the serious nature here. I think it's important to talk about that, because if you are at the point where your opinion of someone impacts your own daily life, you need to get a grip of yourself, okay? Like, for example, once again, someone might play devil's advocate here and say that I get heated when I watch certain videos and I'm very strong in my beliefs / opinions on certain topics. It doesn't impact my life. Like, just because I say to the scam victim, for example, you are a fool and I get angry or whatever, when the camera is off, I don't spend the rest of the day thinking about Jodie, for example, and her racist ways. I move on, okay? 'Cause nothing is going to make me want to think about Jodie for the rest of the shitting day, let's be honest. So you can have an opinion. I think that is all well and good, but once again, freedom of speech doesn't equal freedom of consequence. And if you're just spewing out bigotry in the name of having an opinion, honestly, you're just a sack of shit, okay? But remember that everyone can have an opinion. But it's just about how far you take the opinion. Like, if it goes beyond words and becomes threats, you need help. I didn't like this outro. Thanks for watching. Subscribe now. Subscribe here if you enjoyed this video. But also, change the music on these videos, please. Truly. I truly urge you to do that. Please. 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 So that was men, pretty much, hating on her for her celibacy. I mean, I think it was crucial that she said that the lifestyle works for her. It's just that's it, right? And again, if this is a case of a plastic surgery story and the person is feeling good about themselves for a little bit, we're not addressing root causes here. Unlike her, she addressed the root causes of her unhappiness and contributed it to unnecessarily having sex with people she sees no future with in her 20s. And she's worked on it spiritually and stuff. Also, her health condition. I don't know too much. I don't know how to say it. Endometritis. I don't know too much about it. But I do know it's something to do with the vagine. So, again, all power to her. It's her vagine. She does what she wants. Look, as with the scam videos, I'm getting heated. I think I should take this off. But I'm going to go look at some of the comments on the original videos. I enjoy looking at them, seeing what people are saying, and we'll talk about some of them. So, hopefully you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in like 1 second. Tantalizing talk time. Bet you thought you'd never see this. Except I literally just said I would do this. So you get the point. The first comment says, it's so perverted and morally unkept, the world's obsession with random people's behavior in the bedroom. We need to move on as a society from the obsession with sex and other people having sex and sex that doesn't involve us. How many times can you say sex? But then the reply to this says, she put it out there, she stated publicly to get attention. Now, I mentioned earlier on the fact that her making this content is, I guess, her way of sharing her story, especially with the health aspect. But I think it's also important to understand that creating content is essentially sort of wanting attention. Now, hear me out on this. I don't know if it's controversial or not, but as someone who likes to make people laugh, as someone who hopefully anyway likes to entertain people, you're gonna have your opinion if I'm entertaining or not. But I, in exchange for that, want the attention and to know that I have made at least one person smile, laugh, happy, I guess. Do you see what I mean? Like, actors obviously don't just become actors just to be in films. There is a level of attention there as well. Like, anything where you are in the public eye is attention. So, I don't even necessarily think it's a bad thing. You'll be able to tell if someone is seeking attention for negative reasons. But in her case, it's just creating content. Everyone who creates content wants to share something, and along with the sharing of something comes attention, because you want people to see it. Hopefully that makes sense. It's not a bad thing, but I do agree with the first portion of this comment that the world is too obsessed with sex, okay? Take it from someone who does sometimes use, sexual humor that's one thing. But if you so much, or
Help me! Help me!
but if you care so much that your opinion now is like your day's ruined, or your opinion has now led you to the point of threatening someone with SA, you need help. You just no longer caring about this person or you having an opinion. You are a criminal now. So there's that. The next 3 comments come, consecutively. First up, that is 100% up to her. No one has the right to judge her for it. God bless her for her journey. To which Alexis herself replies, "Hi, it's Alexis. Thank you so much." And then this comment, "Celibate and still goes out with her girls? Sure. What do you mean by this?" What? So everyone in the club right now, as you're watching this, and if you're watching this in the morning and there's a club open and people are there, potentially, please go get a hobby or something. Why are you in the club at 9 a.m. if you're watching this at 9 a.m.? If that even is a thing. But do you? But people in the club, every single one of them, they just want sex. Is that what this person is sort of is denoting here? If you're in the club, if you're out with your friends, you want sex. You can't be celibate. There's no sense. The next comment, I think, perfectly sums up the entire thing. Woman, I'm sexually active. Men, you're a slut. Woman, I'm celibate. Men, no one will want you. And it's what I said earlier on. It just stinks of men being entitled or feeling entitled to a woman's body. But if you are that, entranced over a woman's body, over a woman who I guarantee you probably wants nothing to do with you anyway. The type of men commenting this thing to Alexis, I don't think she even would give you the time of day. You need help. Something has gone on in your brain during development or something where you think it's okay. And if you've made it to this part in the video and you're new to this channel, yes, you've figured out this is by far not a professional channel, right? I stumble over my words. I get heated. It's the nature of things. I apologize. But back to the point, the men who think they are into you, somewhere, something's gone wrong. I urge you to seek help. And then lastly, there are so many comments on this original video of other people sharing their celibacy stories, and all power to you. For one reason or another, you've decided to take control, right? And celibacy, for the right person, of course, it depends on who you are. But to be honest, I'll go as far to say, I hope that you're not just being sexual with every Tom, Dick, and Harry, because I feel like there is a level of self-worth attached to sex, and I hope that you're not just dishing it out to everyone, right? And this goes for both men and women. It doesn't really matter. But this lady says, I'm 61 and have been celibate since my middle 40s and plan to continue on for however long I'm on this earth. I'm happy and content as a single woman with zero interest in men. Obviously, with the romance scam victims, once again, I harpen back to them a lot because I feel like there's a lot to learn from romance scam victims. Like, scam victims in general, you can learn what not to do in terms of navigating the online world, but they do display a lot of insecurities, and I always say that they are too fixated on jumping into a relationship when perhaps they haven't grieved the loss of a partner for one reason, or the other reason being they are just very, very horny. Being sexually active is one thing, but it harpens back to what I was saying about the self-worth aspect. I hope you're not just dishing it out to everyone, because at least I've seen many stories where, I mean, in Alexis's case here, she just had enough of it. you know, from her 20s, she just gave up on it and wanted to work on herself. I don't know her mental health before this, how it was, but if she is describing it as, you know, working on herself spiritually, then, you know, celibacy has helped her a lot. But being sexually active is one thing. I hope I'm making some sort of sense in all of this. Again, you're going to do whatever you're going to do. I just hope you're doing it and you're not suffering mentally, physically from it, right? That's the main point. But a lot of romance scam victims, as this lady says, it's okay to just be by yourself and be happy. You need to learn to do that. It's a great skill to have. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. It's very different to recent videos. If you are new to this channel, we primarily cover scams and catfish stuff, but I do want to try and, you know, do other things, cover other topics and stuff, just so that the channel's not pigeonholed. And I, as you can probably tell, I'm very opinionated and stuff. If you do want to watch more love, don't judge type videos, I've done a few of them in the past. They'll be up there as a playlist if you want. Let me know if you enjoy this. I'll take it. Bye. It's a lot of creeps, huh? Too many.